Is it possible? There you are. Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian. Worked. You're alive. You don't know how long I've been looking for you. I'm a ghost. Actually, now I'm your ghost, and you? Well, you've been dead a long time. So you're going to see a lot of things you won't understand. This is fallen territory. We aren't safe here. I have to get you to the city.
There was a time when we were much more powerful. But that was long ago. Until it wakes and finds its voice, I am the one who speaks for the Traveler. You must have no end of questions, Guardian. In its dying breath, the Traveler created the Ghosts to seek out those who can wield its light as a weapon. Guardians,
I think this mode
to protect us and do what the Traveler itself no longer can.
What happened to it?
I could tell you of the great battle centuries ago. How the Traveler was crippled. I could tell you of the power of the darkness, its ancient enemy. There are many tales told throughout the city to frighten children. Lately, those tales have stopped. Now, the children are frightened anyway. The darkness is coming back. We will not survive it this time.
Its armies surround us. The Fallen are just the beginning.
What can I do?
You must push back the darkness. Guardians are fighting on Earth and beyond. Join them. Your ghost will guide you. I only hope he chose wisely.
I did. I'm sure of it. We're in this together now.
For centuries, we feared the forces of darkness massing against us. We sought to hide and cower beneath a broken god. No more. These guardians show us what we are, what we have always been, and what we will be again. We are what remains of the light, and we will not be stamped out.
What's going on, Lopez? Just fixing up my camera real quick so you can't see me. Figured we.
It's a day for pretty speeches and medals.
Destiny showcase before we play.
But we know the real fight takes place out there. Take this. There's so much more, Guardian. I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness. Every moment brings them closer. All ends are beginnings. Our fight is far from over.
I remember everything about the day I was born. I still bear the scars. The Awoken are my family now. And I am their queen. We fought to keep our beautiful creation safe. And now this beast has come, claiming to be king. Mara Sav bows to no one.
Yeah, boy.
You and I know how this ends. We've known since you escaped from that pit.
No, 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 no! Wait, 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 wait! Wait, 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 wait!
The Awoken have played their part. This was all part of the plan. Guide them, my hidden friend. It is all up to you now.
My queen. You were right. The Guardian was the key. For the first time, the whispers are silent. It is done. I have accepted my fate. I will not fail.
Ikora, if you tell me this is a practical joke, well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
Impressing you, Cade, is the easiest thing I'll do all day.
Let's get serious, people.
Zavala, this is my serious face. Can't you tell?
Ikora, what have you got?
Someone or something has sabotaged the Skyline defense systems.
And comms have been spotty for the last few hours. Every sensor beyond the wall has gone dark.
Maybe it's just the storm. Maybe it's... What are the set feeds telling us?
Nothing.
Well, that's good, right?
No. I mean, they're not there. There are no satellites.
And that's not good.
Battle stations! Everyone with me, now!
Hang on!
felt better. You see that, Petra? Petra? Guardian? Must have knocked out the comm relays with that spectacular landing. And cue the ominous music. Okay, everybody. Back in your cages. I said, back in your cages! Yeah, that hurt. Sorry, not sorry. That's it. Now I'm pissed. Oh, is that really all you got? Help me out here, little buddy.
Okay. Yabero.
Coming home, Ace.
No. The yeah, it's a sad day.
This is awkward, huh? Hey, you got a gun I can borrow?
No.
No, you just see his voice like
But
leaving the.
I do have a bullet with your name on it.
Any second now, my partner is gonna roll in here and kill every last one of you.
No.
And you, my man.
This is going to hurt. A lot. Any last words?
They hit it with the coldest line ever.
How's your sister?
How's your sister, boy? Yee.
We have heard your cries for help. And soon we will answer. Who are you? Don't you recognize us? We are not your friend. We are not your enemy. We are your salvation.
I actually didn't see all of this video because I didn't, what's it called? I didn't play all the seasons. Favorite subclass, but they just Bungie bad. They just never gonna use this love.
This is what I brought you here to see.
Beyond Life is so good.
the end before it happened. My own death, brought on by the separation from my power. And in these final moments, I looked to the sky. Hello, old friend. I've chased you for a long time. First as an enemy, then as a collector, and finally, now, a supplicant. What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspires bravery. Bravery inspires sacrifice. And sacrifice... Here we are. Wouldn't it be clever of you if after everything, you simply let me die? What a trick. Elegant. Is that it? If there is an answer, I don't hear it. Because now the world begins to fade.
That, oh man, people were like, they said, Nani.
So, you're saying Savathun was dead?
Dead?
Our most devious adversary, the one who nearly decimated the last city from within, was dead. And the Traveler resurrected her?
I wouldn't have believed it either, but...
But why would she need us to recover her memories if she never lost them in the first place?
This has to be another trick. A lie to fool us into surrendering the Traveler without a fight.
Nobody was rocking those. Nobody was rocking that set.
This has been the Traveler's approach from the beginning. The Books of Sorrow detail many civilizations it blessed with the light, then abandoned.
Hive propaganda.
The Fallen tell the same story. When the Witness and its Black Fleet came to call, the Traveler moved on to our system.
Or it sacrificed itself to save humanity from the same forces. Forces which included the Hive!
The Hive! Boom. Man was tight.
After all that, why
Mad
would
as
the
hell.
Traveler give our worst enemy the light?
It doesn't matter. I don't know why the Traveler gave Savathun the light. Maybe it has changed its mind about Guardians. Maybe it's not as infallible as we once believed. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. Because I'm here to protect humanity. And if Savathun takes the Traveler, we lose our light, along with any hope for surviving the Witness's return. So, whatever it takes to stop this heist, we will do.
All right. How do we stop this?
I'm not sure yet, but I know where to find out.
so I still can't get over that. How goddamn bad this dude was. Look at myself, man.
Isn't this interesting? I miscalculated. So did you, Guardian. So protective of your traveler that you wouldn't let me keep it safe. But the witness is coming. The game is yours to play now. Yours to win or lose. Just don't say I didn't warn you.
No.
It's like,
Where
wait,
did
what?
her ghost go?
It's like, hey,
Guardian,
man.
I just got the message. The Traveler is back in the Last City. Is it done? Is Savathun...
She's dead. But her ghost got away.
Good enough. Hold your position. The Hidden are
that
coming
good
to
enough?
secure the remains. Good work, Guardian. You did the right thing.
Now what?
Now, we prepare for the witness and stop the next collapse.
Looking like Bruce Lee.
We have seen enough. The children of Soul cry out for salvation. You promise them life, but deliver only death, as you have for so many before. Enough. Enough death.
I just love like the echoes of the voices.
Enough life. You have no pieces left to place. The game is over. Do not be afraid. Your pale heart holds the key.
Damn, boy.
This time, there is no escape.
I did not see this. I don't know what this is. Anything with like Crow, I didn't really see. He said, "All right, guys, peace."
It's happening again.
The whirlwind.
Eris.
Don't worry. The Great Machine will never abandon anyone again.
It's leaving. The Traveler is leaving.
the Warsats.
Aramis, please do not do this. If you care at all for our people, if there is anything left in your heart.
Oh! It's like, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Make it known your pain.
Oh. Wait, this time. Yeah.
For Reese. Goodbye, Red.
Why does it not flee? Because it has nowhere else to run.
Vanguard to all units. Keep the enemy away from the Traveler. At all cost.
Decided to do a Kamehameha out of nowhere. And then the witness decided to be a badass, dude. Said, you think this power level is enough? Psych.
What is that? The Witness.
Whatever that thing is, we gotta take it down.
Sure about that. Please. One finger, boy. Please. Peace. Dice them. Once you seen the Titan, just like the head, I was like, whoa! Oh, this thing not playing. He said,
Going down.
please. Holy moly. Like, how are we gonna fight that thing? That's what I'm trying to think. Like, what could we possibly obtain that's gonna allow us to fight that?
Disciple, you know what must be done.
They found the veil.
We're in no position to engage the enemy.
We don't have a choice. We're out of time.
Osiris. Don't die.
Man. It's been an interesting couple of seasons, man. It's been real interesting.
No more running away. Rest now.
Rest.
Well, the uglier they are, the harder they fall, right? No?
Oh?
Come on.
Such a cloud.
We finally found you.
Get your ghost.
What's wrong, Osiris?
Get your ghost out of there.
Finality takes shape. It's creating the link.
But this motherfucker, Nimbus, could have just whooped up there and grabbed him.
Destroy it.
And he just destroy it when this dude could have grabbed it the whole time, bro. Literally what he did. He could have just done quicker. But no. It's Guardian's fault because Guardian didn't want to shoot the damn thing. Look at this fool, bro. How did he do that like 20 minutes ago? Come on, man. Fuck it.
What just happened?
We just lost.
Sir.
Zavala, come in.
It's like my headset went quiet.
The universe makes us all victim and perpetrator. That's infinite cruelty. You, more than any, suffer both fates. Be free.
Bro, what are you talking about? God. 3 minutes.
The witness has moved beyond our reach.
R.I.P. to this guy.
All attempts to follow it.
R.I.P. to that guy. God damn.
Have failed.
Man did the fusion dance with his own shit. Continues, Guardians. No. No. What? Damn.
I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness. Every moment brings them closer.
Oh my gosh, where are we?
And the music.
Ready?
Chad, are you ready?
On your deals!
All ends and beginnings.
Battle stations!
Alright, game over, credits. Right? Man, humble us. No.
That time we go to the moon.
Was that a darkest ship behind Okora?
Sir Happy Eris is back.
We are your
Salvation.
Wait.
The line between light and dark is so very thin. Let's cross it together.
Holy crap! This got me feeling things.
Hello.
Let's go. Say what you will about Destiny and Bungie,
I'm afraid.
but they know how to get us hyped, guys.
What is he doing? No way! Oh my god, was?
Yeah. Yeah, it's about to get real. It's about to get really real. Let's go!
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Like many of you, I've been playing games as long as I can remember. They're a core part of what makes me who I am. I believe there's this deeply rooted, often unstated mission of games to keep adventure alive. In 2014, Bungie set out to start a new adventure. Heroes awakened on a desolate planet. A silent god set in our sky. And it wouldn't be long before an ancient enemy, shrouded in darkness, showed up at humanity's door to destroy us. Over the years, our heroes would shape a story far greater than anything we could have imagined. Players would explore deep into the depths of Venus, hunting a machine god that controlled time itself. They'd invent ways to combine their mythic weaponry and their paracausal abilities to stand alone against monsters that took others, an entire elite squad. They'd race alongside their friends far into the early morning in the halls of an ancient city where only a select few emerged victorious at dawn, clutching the heart of a dragon. But most importantly, they'd bring their friends and their family into this world.
Dude, the live
and
action
together
trailers were so
meet
clutch.
new faces on this adventure who would become lifelong companions. Now, together, we approach the final shape.
Yeah.
We're about to embark on the last expedition of Destiny's first saga.
Yeah.
So let's be clear about the stakes. In the final shape, you will go inside the Traveler. The journey will be difficult. And what awaits you on the other side of this trek is nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced. There will be no open betas. There aren't going to be any guides on the internet telling you how to handle what's to come. Whether you've been with us from the beginning, joined us somewhere along the road, or are looking at Destiny for the first time, anybody who shows up on launch day is going to be greeted with this same uncharted world, a vacuum-sealed experience begging for you to be the first person to peel it open. So today is your invitation to go forth and adventure.
All right, man. You get to be hyped now.
After all these years, we never talked about it. Why I brought you back. Why you were chosen. The truth is, I didn't know then. It was just a feeling. But I know now. After all we've seen, all we've lost, this fight might be our last. So I'm asking you one last time to rise.
Whoa. Hey, yo, chill.
This is a momentous time in Destiny history. We've been building to this moment for the last 10 years.
The final shape is the conclusion to that journey. This is a moment in gaming that, as a developer, you just don't get very often.
Guardians and allies are fighting the biggest threat that the universe has ever seen in this big culmination of the Light and Darkness saga.
When we were thinking of what the final shape could be, it had to be a lot of different things. It needs to pay off this epic confrontation with the Witness that we've been setting up for years. It has to bring you closer to your allies in the Vanguard. It has to be this place that like makes you feel nostalgic for the entire journey you've been on.
When we were resurrected by Ghost at the very beginning of this story, we didn't know why, but it was for this. The Traveler is asking us for help. And it's our responsibility to protect every living thing in the universe from what the Witness intends to do.
When we first start the final shape, we are finally able to go through the portal that the Witness opened in the Traveler at the end of Lightfall.
Inside is the pale heart of the Traveler. That is the stage for our showdown with the Witness.
The Witness has the darkness. It has always had a connection to it. The pale heart of the Traveler is what it's trying to use to gain connection to the light. So with both, it can enact its final shape.
The Witness looks around and sees a lack of purpose, no meaning. It wants to fix all that. So it's trying to put the universe into this frozen perfection where everything's just exactly how it thinks it's supposed to be. That is the final shape.
If we're going to defeat the Witness, it's going to take everyone. Failure is not an option.
We're gonna need the Vanguard, all of our allies, and all the Guardians to rally together and be brave in the face of Oblivion.
Was it Void
In the
though,
final
or
shape,
was it like...
we're going to answer questions at the grandest scale. But what I find really interesting is that it's also a very personal journey, where we deepen our relationships with these characters that we've known for so long. Zavala, Ikora, our Ghost, get to reconnect with Cayde 6. So, like, while there's this great conflict and everything going on around us and stakes of just unimaginable heights, it's still at the end a story told around campfires by a bunch of companions who have been fighting together for hundreds of years.
In the final shape, we're going through the portal that the Witness has opened up to confront
the old
it
tower.
and
What
stop
was
the
that?
final shape. Inside the Traveler is this infinite, vast, unknowable. And we're landing on the Pale Heart, which is a fraction of really what is inside the Traveler.
The Pale Heart is weird. It's a little strange, it makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, and it is also just so cool and artistic in the best way.
The Witness entered well ahead of any Guardians, and so it's had time to kind of shape what's there. When our Guardian enters, the rest of the Pale Heart starts getting shaped also around what we've experienced.
This is the Traveler recreating the world in front of you as it saw on your journey.
One of the most memorable locales from Destiny's past is the D1 Tower. It's really a labor of love from the Destiny team. The final shape means so much to everyone who's building it, and I think players are really going to be able to see that.
The Pale Heart is our very first linear destination that we've ever done. I would love it if players felt that they began their journey in a place of safety and feel it escalate in danger, in surrealness, because there is this beautiful evolution of the space.
They see things that are more and more wrong as they begin to go towards the Witness's monolith. It's kind of this omnipresent, foreboding thing off in the distance.
The weirdest things happen as you get closer to the monolith in the form of reshaping. Kind of like deconstructing things and putting them back together just wrong.
The sense of scale you get out there, like as you're exploring these spaces and you're jumping on these reshaped cuboids of Earth, you feel tiny as a Guardian. You feel alone. You feel like you are not the force to be reckoned with that you have been. You're not the God Slayer right now. You're just this little person jumping from these massive pieces to massive pieces.
One of the things that we really tried to also capture is that the Witness keeps throwing everything it has at you. And so you're going to fight these new enemies, the Subjugators.
Subjugators are the new unit you're going to be facing in the final shape. They have an enhanced power set.
Whoa!
They're performing stasis powers and strand powers to face the Guardian, well, in support of all the other enemies you're fighting too.
They bring something entirely new to the battlefield, which is kind of this element of control.
They're back there pinging away with stasis abilities, throwing crystals at you, freezing you in place, tangling you up.
Oh, that's wild. That's kind of cool.
We're focusing you on the campaign and only the campaign. It's the most important thing in the universe at that moment. You have to stop the final shape from happening.
And for that, we do need the help with our allies. And so we're going to make sure that the core Vanguard team gets back together. Zavala and Ikora and Cade.
The campaign is just the start of the Pale Heart. After you've reached the monolith and finished the campaign, we open up the entire destination, and so the entire Pale Heart is going to react to you and what you are doing.
The campaign in the final shape doesn't really end with the final mission. The raids are where you defeat like the big bosses. So it's only natural that when you are going to confront the Witness, you're going to do that in the raid. But that might not be enough. This is a moment where we need to rally all Guardians to be able to overcome the final shape and the Witness.
There should be like, what if, nah, they would do this. What if they made like a raid where like, it's like a multi-raid? Like
in the final shape,
it's like
we are
more than
inside
6
the
Guardians,
Traveler.
just all in one
Very
place,
close to this
going
energy.
against
This
something.
allows us to have new supers, Arc, Solar, Void.
We want to create something that turns you into an offensive powerhouse, but also
can benefit your allies in a support capacity. There is this thread of team play and like working with your friends to overcome the odds. The Warlock Super is this ultimate expression of solar energy coursing through your Guardian. This Solar Warlock Super is a callback to Radiance from D1.
Other than Golden Gun, this is the only other first-person super in Destiny right now. Your melee's like all these projectiles going off, doubling the amount of projectiles. Your grenade almost being sentient as it
like
searches around, and then it hits a character and bounces off and goes to another one. And
that's fire.
You're so overflowing with this energy that you are also giving it to your allies, allowing them to have their solar weapons supercharged,
like
applying Scorch when they're shooting.
The new Solar Warlock aspect. When I cast my Rift, it is going to create this little solar soul that when it sees an enemy, it launches part of itself out and hits the enemy and explodes and scorches them.
It just feels very alive.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Twilight Arsenal. It's a layered super.
This is the only ranged one-off offensive super for Titans in the game. The Titan jumps up into the air, summons this giant void axe, throws it, summons another one, throws it, summons another one, looks at a different group of enemies, throws it. And when these axes fly through the air, they stick into the ground or an enemy, do their void gravity thing where they suck a bunch of energy and enemies in and then explode. But that doesn't destroy the axe. The axe sticks around.
Them back up,
and
bro.
you
For
and your allies
everybody,
can go and pick
yo,
up that
that's
axe and start
wild.
wailing on enemies with it.
This super
That's
is insane to me.
crazy.
The Void Titan aspect, I press and hold
Wow, of
my
course
grenade
Titan would get the
button
most broken
to
one, though.
consume my grenade and turn it into the shield. The more damage it takes, the more it charges up, and then I can release that, and it creates
Come
this
on, bro.
blast that deals massive
You guys
damage.
are making that shit OP. What?
The Hunter Arc Super.
Arc is all about finding the shortest distance between 2 points. The Hunter
Wait.
kind of rears back,
I know they
takes
did
this
not do-
knife and throws it across the world.
What I think they just did.
And then
Oh
is able to
my
blink
God.
to its position, do the slash that just decimates anyone
They
nearby.
gave us a
One really
photo
great thing
Kage.
about that is not just you do
The
it once,
flying
but you're able to do
Raiji.
it 3 times, along with devastating attacks each time you do
The Hunter
that's
has
clean.
an aspect. We take our staff, we twirl it in the air, which propels us upward. It creates this burst, which amplifies you and any allies near you.
it. It almost makes it feel like you're playing a fighting game, right? Like these combos that you're chaining together to do these different moves. It like takes that sandbox to the
you
next
can
level.
chain
The
both of
more
those?
aspects
That's
we have,
fire.
the more capable we are to do that.
It feels like you're like riding the lightning, you know? Like that instantaneous, like
That was good, but I think it's more like, you know?
I like it, I like it.
That's crazy. The flying Raiji.
Weapons team has been working on all sorts of goodness. We've got exotics, we've got legendaries, we've got perks. We're always cooking up stuff. We're always playing with stuff that we think is like really interesting or taking inspiration. We have Tessellation, which is this exotic pyramid fusion rifle. It has the really intriguing property of adapting your Guardian's current damage type.
This will be the first time that you can run a weapon that can adapt to be strand or stasis in the energy slot. So you'll be able to run an entirely strand or entirely stasis loadout.
Let's
Tessellation has the additional property
go!
that you can special
Finally!
reload to reshape your grenade and suck it into the weapon, and then fire out a super destructive single projectile. It's a really special weapon.
What's the one specific exotic that I can make that's like really
need
zany
it.
that
I
you would
need
like
it.
right now?
What if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle?
What if you could harness the might of the Traveler? You know, we had a moment where we saw that Traveler Beam cutscene. I know people on Weapons went, I kind of want that. You're like, that is incredibly dope.
So we've got this opportunity to bring back these iconic Destiny 1 weapons,
Yo!
but really turn it into something that feels unique in Destiny 2.
We have to bring Kvastav into the fold.
The Red Death exotic pulse rifle.
And Dragon's Breath. Burn the
Dragon-
world, burn it all.
Yeah, Dragon's Breath is pretty wild. I'll give you that.
In the final shape, we have new weapon subfamilies coming, broadening what existing weapons can be.
Really like bordering on exotic functionality.
Red Death,
So for
though?
example, we've got a rocket pistol sidearm subfamily. We always liked the special ammo sidearms. This fires tiny, slow-moving rockets. They hit very hard, do a bit of AoE damage.
Like a
They have a mixture of regular weapon and rocket launcher stats. We're also doing a new support weapon subfamily.
The support frame auto rifle is a type of legendary auto rifle. It'll let you switch seamlessly from firing at enemies to healing your allies. I'm really excited to bring it to dungeons and keep my team alive, honestly.
That is the craziest
Weapons
thing
team
I've
is always coming up with new ideas. We've got a ton of new cool stuff coming over the next few years, and some new and really wild ideas, which we're pretty excited about.
All right. Titan got the most
Come on,
crazy
take the load off.
update.
You've got a lot to cover. This place is only big enough for one dashing hero type, and that's me, so. I'm back!
Yeah!
Hey, you two, give me a sec. I was magnificent. This is great. Anyone want a hug?
Yeah!
Get your rock off my map. Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah! Let's go!
Well, better get back to it.
Dude, the K trailers were always so tight.
In this moment where we're driving to the end of the Light and Darkness saga, it's great to see Cayde like return to this world at this moment with all this change about to culminate with this confrontation with the long-standing enemy, the Witness.
Cayde is the quintessential hunter. His presence casts such a long shadow over the story of Destiny, whether it was when he was alive or when he was dead.
What Cayde goes through in this journey, how he serves as a catalyst for the other characters, the events that are uncovered to have brought him back. This is how the story had to end. There was no end to the Light and Darkness saga that didn't have Cayde here alongside his friends to finish the job.
Once we started digging into the nature of the Pale Heart, I think that crystallized Cayde's role as a guide. Cayde is Virgil, and he's our guide through this other place. Cayde is the one who is the most appropriate person to be the guide, because that's his job. That's always been his job. It just feels so natural for Nathan to be back in the booth. It felt amazing to just see him slip back into the role, like, without missing a beat.
Right, instantly.
In the flesh, or metal, as it were.
Cayde's the glue that's always held Zavala and Ikora together. Having him back puts them in a position of questioning where they've been and what they've done without him.
You think about the journey that Zavala's been on and how he's been taken down this dark path, and you think about the weight that's been on Ikora, having to hold the Vanguard together, having Cayde's voice of levity and brightness that he brings to that group. I think it's going to be great for them.
Well, at least we have each other.
We want people to take away that sense of reunion and that idea of like the gang being back together for this moment.
I'm here now.
Yeah.
Wherever the hell here is.
Whatever that is, I need that. The Taken Ace? Yeah. I'm gonna need that. What's this new subclass, man?
Guardian, the Witness poses a dire threat. And the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek. But only if we contend with her sister, Xivu Arath. It rests with me.
Will you come back from this?
Do not be afraid.
Whoa!
Bring me your tithes.
Oh,
You now wield
hell
Hive
no.
magic and have entwined it with your light. Assault the Spire, Guardian, and open the way to our tithes.
Did you see that?
Let them know fear.
You said hive weapons?
The deck of whispers, and they do whisper. Fight in my name, Guardian. Every opponent you defeat strengthens me.
Wait, so the new subclass is a Hive subclass?
For your brutal tributes. Let us show her what it is to be Hive. You have sounded the horn of battle. You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow.
Season of the Witch is our opportunity as players. We've been annihilating and breaking Hive spells, and now we finally get to cast them.
At the end of Season of the Deep, we learn that Savathun has the key to getting into the portal that we need to go into. That means we have to go find Imaru, her ghost. Imaru's like, not so fast. We've got a bigger problem first, and that bigger problem's name is Xivu Arath. If we fight her, she only gets stronger. Eris has an idea. It's a really
good
It's
idea.
a wild ass idea, yeah. She determines like, well, the best way to fight fire is with fire. We are channeling all of that energy that we're creating by going through, by eliminating enemies, and we're tithing to our friend Eris.
Bring me your tithes.
What does that mean for the characters and the player to kind of like be like Savathun? And that's where we went down the path of having Hive Eris. We wanted to extend that magical fantasy into the player then. That ability to have overwhelming magical power, that risk and reward into all of our activities and systems experiences. And so that's what led us to come up with things like Deck of Whispers. It's this magical deck of cards that creates amazing synergies with your Buildcraft meta and with buffs and the activities.
They can then choose these cards at will, whichever ones they want, and then that really leans into the build crafting.
You actually are getting cards that you can then use to place on the battlefield and change the way you play.
I'm
About to
such a
become
sucker for
Yu-Gi-Oh
deck building.
masters?
Like being able to like bring that element
I
into
summon-
Destiny gameplay has just been like,
No
oh,
way!
really
Not the
fun.
trap card!
Trap card!
No way!
So we've got two brand new seasonal activities coming with
Triggered by
Season of the
trap
Witch.
card,
We've got Altars
bruh.
of Summoning and Savathun's Spire.
Savathun's Spire is our new 3-player offensive. You're doing a lot more with the Lucent Hive magic, but it's got a high amount of combatant density. It's got additional random encounters that you can come across.
The Witch's Spire itself, Savathun's Spire, was like her reliquary for all these different magical experiments as she was learning the light. You're there in order to learn as much as you can in order to become a master spellcaster, right? To become like Savathun. The Altar of Summoning's activity is really exciting because you can spend like 20 minutes in it or you can spend 2 hours in it.
It's a 3-player experience that you can hop in and hop out of. As you're going through this activity, you're filling the tithing bucket. As that tithing bucket is filled up, you'll get progressively more rewards. And then finally at the end, it'll cash out and you'll get a whole mess of rewards.
We really wanted to make sure that there was a home for any exotic mission content coming in seasons after the year has passed. And so we developed what we're calling the Exotic Mission Rotator.
Right away, we're getting Presage, Vox Obscura, and Operation Seraph Shield.
This is some of the most fun content the team has making. It's some of the content the fans and players of Destiny love the most. The most exciting thing, outside of just the missions themselves, is that every time we put a mission inside of that rotator, the exotic that comes alongside of it will become craftable.
Yay!
With Season of the Witch, we have a brand new Vex lo-fi PvP map coming. It's really exciting. It's got a bunch of really tight gameplay experiences. We wanted to make sure that we focused the combat a little bit more. With the new Vex network map, we really wanted to make sure we hit is like, hey, you're shoulder to shoulder more often. There's not as much deep sight lines that you're interacting with. And a lot of the flow of the map is actually built around this like kind of central pillar of the Vex network that you're orienting around.
And there's also some modes coming too, right?
We've got a new PvP game mode coming that's all about relics. It's about multiple relics, so it's not just one like the Scorch game mode from the past. So we've got the shield coming from Vault of Glass, we've got the spear back from Season of the Risen.
And we got the scythe from Season of the Haunted.
Yeah, so you're gonna be reaping Guardians with that thing. It's a lot more tactical gameplay. It's all about running around the map, claiming these relic dispensers, and then grabbing them in order to push for victory.
I will take what I need.
The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist.
We were feeling pretty Hyvey this season, obviously. There's something in the air. And so when thinking about, like, what's a good raid reprisal that would really suit this very Hyvey season, there's only one answer.
Let's go. It's back.
I have seen what the Hive call
Not Wrath of the Machine.
a god.
Oh, Oryx is back. That crowed his head, I mean, Jesus. Oryx is back. What's up?
Only a true weapon
Necrochasm!
can stop his wrath.
Crota. Ooh. That looked pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what that was, but that looked pretty cool.
Heading into the final shape, we really want to rally all Guardians at the end of the Light and Darkness saga. We want to reduce those power barriers, as well as catch people up on key story beats and make sure that they have a really great and easy time connecting with other players. In the final shape, we're trying to find ways to make power more simple and easy to understand, and also lowering the barrier to entry.
It's going to make it easier for players who have not been able to jump into game easily because they were held back by the challenges in grinding for the power levels that are required by these different activities.
One of the major changes that's going to be happening starting with the final shape is there are going to be a certain number of activities that are going to be power fixed. So it doesn't matter kind of what power level you are going into it, you're always going to be able to approach it. There's still going to be tiers of difficulty that you can do, things that are just meant to be experienced a certain way.
Things like Nightfall strikes that will still have power enabled, and that's where we're really going to focus the whole power climb.
The raids, the contest modes that everybody loves to engage with, that experience is fundamentally going to be staying the same.
I'm excited for this because I think there will be a lot more clarity for players in terms of understanding the relative difficulty of things, where they sit now in the spectrum.
One way that we're trying to do that is making it easier for new players to engage with you. So we're introducing something that we're calling Fire Team Power.
You can actually bring your friends along to play any dungeons and raids in the game without having to wait them to be at a certain power level. The person with the highest power in your fire team is actually going to bring all the others close to their power level, which means that there's no barriers really for any other Guardian to join you in this high-level content.
When it's combined with Fireteam Finder, it also allows you to find strangers, people you've never played with before, and have that same experience. That's all regardless of the power level of you and the rest of the people in your fire team.
Fireteam Finder is the new feature that's coming in Season 23, aimed at helping connect and find other people to complete the best and most aspirational content in Destiny. We have a tag system that allows players to be able to say, well, this is my play style. I'm really chill. I'm anti-sweat. I'm just really here to have a good time.
Yeah, bro, that's what we need.
Exactly.
Tags really allows players to show a little bit more personality, show a little bit more about what they're about. I think what's really great about it is with this launch, we're also looking at including inclusion tags.
As an example, one of the inclusion tags that we have are for colorblind players. Hopefully the inclusion tags will bring players closer to finding their community and even closer to the people that they're playing with.
You gotta
so
add, like,
once
anime
a
or
listing
something.
goes live, players will be put into a listing lobby where players can gather, they can communicate with each other. So we wanted to make it as convenient and as easy as possible for players to not just sit and stare at a screen for a long time while their listing actually fills up.
As a gamer who's typically more solo, I'm especially excited about this because it really is about helping reduce that anxiety and burden that comes with trying to make a new connection. The feature coming out today that I'm incredibly excited about is Timeline Reflections. Essentially what we have done is we've went back to previous expansions and pulled out missions that we felt really represent key narrative beats within our story. We are going to have a mission for Forsaken, a mission for Beyond Light, as well as a mission for Witch Queen.
Thanks for the memories, Guardian.
The neat thing about these missions is they're not going to be like one-to-one for how you would experience them in the campaign. You're also going to get additional pieces of narrative fed to you to like identify like, hey, this is why it's important that this happened, and here are the people you met along the way.
A really big one that's really timely for Final Shape is Cayde's last stand from Forsaken. This is a moment that a lot of players, new and old, are going to come back to Destiny. I think this is just the right time to introduce features that are going to allow those players to jump right in and find people to play with and enjoy this content regardless of their power level.
We're reaching the end of this 10-year journey. What comes next?
The episodes, and the new way we're going to tell stories moving forward.
What's really important about episodes is that it's a really big shakeup to what we've been doing. Instead of providing 4 seasons a year, you are going to get 3 larger episodes. And so the first 3 episodes in this coming year are called Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy. It's coming right after the Final Shape. And the theme for the year is going to be all about the consequences and aftermath of the Final Shape. I think what's really the cornerstone of the episode model that we're building is the 3-act structure. The acts act as these anchors for us to introduce new weapons, new artifact mods, new activities. There's going to be new missions coming around the core. There'll be new story moments in every single one of these acts. We're actually providing more cinematic styled experiences throughout the Final Shape year and the episodes with it than any of the seasons we've ever developed before.
These new stories are actually playable as standalone. Like each episode is something you can experience whether you've been playing Destiny for 10 years or this is your first one.
You're going to be able to basically enjoy them in any order you want to.
I think the opportunity with this big epic moment is that we get to innovate the game. We get to move the game forward.
It's all about change frequently. It's all about deeper story moments. It's all about more weapons, more loot, more often. And it really provides the team with a platform to go much deeper into the themes and fantasies and story of any individual episode as compared to the seasons you know of today.
I'm so excited to see what the narrative team can do with this kind of new platform of storytelling. Episodes provides this awesome foundation for the future of Destiny.
We're moving into the next stage of Destiny 2. I think some people look at the Final Shape and they think Destiny 2 is coming to the end. And in many ways, it's the opposite. We're leaning in. We're putting the pedal to the metal. Episodes provide us a new, innovative way for players to engage with Destiny 2 throughout the year.
What makes a guardian a guardian? Devotion, bravery, sacrifice. We know that we were chosen for a reason, by something greater than ourselves.
Guardian. Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian.
Shaped by the fires of each new battle, we are forged and sharpened into what we must become for the fight ahead.
Is this like the last recording he did?
We are the final line that halts the second collapse.
All of us. Every Titan. Every Warlock.
No, this is old.
Every Hunter.
What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspires bravery.
Bravery inspires sacrifice.
Sacrifice leads to death.
The line between light and dark is so very thin.
Damn. Oh, that was crazy. That hit me in the feels. Oh, that was wild.
There are things out in the dark that only the dark can overcome. Trust me.
You've heard the stories of the Traveler's sacrifice, of darkness descending upon humanity.
Our purpose is its end. This time, there is no escape.
become legend. Oh,
It's
man.
going to be an exciting year for Guardians. We get to make
I
good
got
on a
goosebumps.
promise that we made way back in 2014. There was classic rock blasting, a fire team racing across our solar system, and at the end, a simple message: become legend. Today, you got a glimpse at how we'll be cementing your legend in this upcoming year. We're going to be heading inside the Traveler, experiencing a destination unlike anything we've ever built before. We'll face the biggest bad we've ever made, and we'll do this all alongside a streamlined progression system, allowing us to easily play with friends in any content in the game. And as the dust settles in the final shape, we're going to continue our legends in Echoes. It's Destiny's first episode in a new phase of storytelling for Guardians, with brand new conflicts born from the resolution of the Light and Darkness saga. These first episodes are just the beginning. But if you're chomping at the bit to see how the Light and Darkness saga is going to kick off the future of Destiny 2, we've got a ton of great content for you to jump into today. Going live after this, we've got Season of the Witch. With a new story, new weapons, new armor, new activities, and new PvP content, all alongside a series of story catch-up missions, allowing any of your friends to jump into the game and get up to speed on what's happening in this world. Then, next week, a brutal reprisal of Crota's End is going to join the ranks of our aspirational content. I can't wait to see you all in the Throne World as we learn more about the final shape.
Let's go!
And how we can stop it.
Woo! One more. Woo!
Do not be afraid. Bring me your tithes.
That is the most
After
broken
all
sleeper
these
I
years,
feel.
all we've lost. This fight might be our last. So I'm asking you to rise. One last time.
Wait, what?
When we create a collector's edition, we try and recreate items from the universe for players to enjoy outside of the game. So this year we're doing a Destiny 1 tower. We really tried to work hard at thinking about 10 years of Destiny and how best to encapsulate that experience.
Even as the game dev who've worked on it since day one, like I think having it be the tower is super exciting for us because it's going to kind of catalog your journey of a player from when you first started playing Destiny all the way to now. The tower, it's kind of like the beacon in which you're a place you can call home.
You get the tower, and then there are actual figures of the Vanguard mentors that
No way.
accompany that architectural model.
And there's a lot of like hidden messages and hidden things.
There's gonna be some fun surprises. We're always trying to push the envelope. And so we've been playing a lot with magnetic locks and sound effects, and lights, just sort of make this experience as a whole really special. It's sort of the perfect symbol of Destiny. I'm so excited for it.
Me too.
Light up? That looks pretty cool. season like started? Like, come on, can we play now? Like, is that a thing? Please. Oh my god. I want to play already. I don't care about none of this. I just want to play. Please. I see the high powers. I was like, yo, that looks crazy. Those armor sets look crazy.
Guardians. Welcome to the post-show stream. My name is Taylor Liz. I am a Destiny 2 player and content creator. I'm excited to be here live at Bungie. We're gonna have 2 segments for you today. A little later in the show, I'll be playing through the brand new Season of the Witch content with my good friend, Pika Peach. Right now, let's sit down with Bungie developers to talk more about what we just saw and what's next for the future of Destiny 2. Pika, over to you.
Thank you so much, Taylor. My name is Pika, and I'm also a content creator and Destiny 2 fan. You can often find Taylor and I playing together in some sort of challenge in-game.
I was like, wait, that's
I'm
no
beyond
way, that's
honored
your
to
name.
be sitting down with everyone here today, so let's do some more introductions.
Thank you, Pika. It's great to have you here. Hi, my name is Cosmo. I'm the lead community role here at Bungie, and my role is supporting our amazing community team and all the great work they do, helping prepare weekly check-ins and sending info out to our players. I'm going to be teaming up with Pika today, and we're going to be asking some of these guys some questions and go over some of the things that we didn't get to cover in the showcase. So, yeah, Dan?
Yeah, thanks. I'm Dan McAuliffe. I'm the general manager for Destiny 2. And that mostly means that I get to support all the amazing talent that makes this game. So thanks for sitting down with us today.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
I'm Joe. I'm the game director on Destiny 2. And actually, while Taylor and Liz were doing the intro, I was hiding behind a pillar for the last 10 seconds. So y'all can like roll back the VOD and see if I did a good job or not.
Awesome. So let's get into some questions. As a player, what are you guys most hyped about regarding the final shape and beyond? Anything specific you can call out?
For me, I'm really excited about the story. I mean, this is going to be like the epic conclusion to the Light and Darkness saga. Like, players are finally going to get to go into the Traveler, confront the Witness. Like, the stakes have never been higher. I'm just really excited to get to watch everybody play it out as soon as they can. Can we make it live right now?
I don't think so.
I tried. Anyway, what about you, Dan?
Oh, for me, I mean, it's a lot about the supers, right? Like, I just think we have this ability with these supers coming out to shift the meta in a really exciting way. And like, I just haven't played through them and gotten some hands on them. Sorry, like no spoilers, but like, I think they're going to play in all parts of the game. So I think you're going to see these in the campaign, obviously, but you're going to see these in PvP, and they really feel like that sort of pinnacle achievement of our Guardian's journey in a lot of ways. So just really excited to see the final product.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's maybe surprising. It's the weapons. And I know, like...
Shock.
Yeah. We make a lot of weapons on Destiny 2, right? And so why are we excited about the weapons this time? I think the team sort of really looked and said, what's core to Destiny, right? Like, what's really important? And we said, hey, like, Destiny's at its best when you're getting a bunch of new weapons, and those weapons are so exciting that they are making it onto your character right away. They're like changing the way you play. So this is not just exotics, right? It's not just like, I think it was alluded to, like, what if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle? Pretty cool sniper rifle. I think it's also, we talked about these new, weapon subtypes. And so what's a support auto rifle? We've made guns that heal before. We've made exotics that do it. Well, if we do it in a legendary, what needs to be different about it so we can make this thing that feels as useful to a fire team as someone bringing Gjallarhorn, that feels as useful as someone, bringing Divinity, right? And we know that's the bar that we have to hit. So we're looking at a bunch of different things and saying, okay, we're gonna make these guns and we're gonna make them matter, right? We're gonna go out and you're gonna get awesome stuff on, the Pale Heart. I think we showed a little bit of it. There's like these sweet, they look like a deck of cards if you go back and watch the footage. And there's a bunch of awesome stuff coming in the weapons. And so I think we're really just trying to hit that core, like, hey, we're a loot game, right? Like, the loot should be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, me too. So speaking of the Pale Heart, the reveal, it was said in the reveal that the Pale Heart destination is the first linear destination ever done. So can you talk us through why it was decided to make it more linear destination?
All right, linear.
And what it means.
Yeah. So
the math lesson now?
Yeah, I'm not sure how many folks have been in algebra recently, but if you're like me and need a little refresher, linear line, right?
Walk
like,
me
that's
through
what
it.
we're saying here. So a classic Destiny destination, we think of it as a loop, right? There are these big public areas. They're all connected in a circle. And then from those areas, there's little offshoots. There are little alleyways that you can go to. And that just didn't make sense for going inside the Traveler. One, because the Traveler is huge. When we talk about the Pale Heart, we're saying, like, hey, what if you were an alien, you landed on Earth, and the only part of Earth you saw was like a parking lot in Montana. And you were like, oh, this place is huge, right? Like, it's sort of like, okay, so we're gonna show you a really small slice of what is inside the Traveler. And then we said, it needs to feel like you're going somewhere important. It's a vast, unknowable place. Okay, well, on one end, we've got the portal. And on the other end, we've got the Witness that's built this giant monolith. And so every single area that we've built is built in a consecutive line from one to the other. So you travel through these things and you can look back at once you once were. And if you need to go to the next part, you're not going into these offshoots that dead end. you are going to where you need to be going. It's really focused on, hey, you've got a job to do here.
So it's like tracking your journey.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Okay, cool. Well, that sounds insane. So, super different.
That's what we go for.
During the showcase, it was also mentioned that completing the campaign would unlock the full destination, and that it almost like reacts as we progress. Is that kind of what you're hinting at, or can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I think two things we want people really to come away with thinking when they think about. One, this is a bit different in the way that you experience the Pale Heart right away. So normally, you might land on the throne world and you do a mission, and then you're out with your Sparrow exploring the throne world, doing the missions if you want to. Day one of the final shape, you got a job to do, right?
Okay.
And so it is mission, right? And you just go through and you say, hey, we've got to stay focused on this thing. When you get to the end of that day one experience, everyone can sort of like collectively take a breath, collect themselves, and then you just have this realization like, oh, we're like inside the Traveler, right? Like we should probably go see what that's about. And so the whole destination unlocks for you. And there's a lot of things that are different about the Pale Heart than our other destinations. I think we're gonna save some of those juicy tidbits for what's different about this destination and how it sort of compares to what we've done in the past. But yeah, it's a pretty different experience than even what you might expect in somewhere like the Dreaming City.
And for real, like we do want to save some of these juicy tidbits, not just because it's fun, but because like, I mean, the Traveler's just been this inscrutable godlike sphere that people have wanted to know more about for so long. And like, this is their opportunity to experience some of that mystery. And I'm excited to see how that plays out.
Well, it's alive, right? So what can we really expect?
Yeah, I think, we talked about this, we showed a little bit. The section that you're in, it's shaped off of who's there, right? And so who's been there?
That's so cool.
The witness, right? The witness
messing stuff up.
Yeah, chilling right there. We're trying to knock on the door. We don't know how to get inside.
And
we're gonna make it eventually. And so
I was looking online for
it's got this both really unique aspect to it, and a bunch of the geo looks like stuff that you've never seen before. A bunch of these places feel like, this heaven on one side, hell maybe in the middle, crazy destiny surrealness at the end, and then there are these accents of like, God, I'm at like a crazy heavenly beach. You see this giant ghost carved into a mountain, or you see the D1 tower erecting out of this. And so, we're really excited to sort of give people this like distilled Destiny experience that still feels really new when you're in there.
It's amazing.
So Dan, we've got feedback from players who wanted to learn more about the origins of the Witness and the Veil during the Lightfall campaign, rather than wait until like later on in the seasons. So players have big narrative expectations for the final shape. How are we taking this feedback and making this the epic conclusion that this first saga deserves?
Oh yeah, no, I mean this is the sort of fun of the challenge for this, right? Because the Light and Darkness saga has been such a focal through line for really most of Destiny's existence, right? Like it is this epic story. Joe was just talking about, some of that sort of culmination of experience inside the Pale Heart. And so this is a spot where we have to really land that culmination in a satisfying way, right? Like there's a confrontation that's been happening. There's a story that's been being told. This part of the Destiny world, we have to end really well, and the players deserve that, and the story deserves that. And so there's some things we're doing to account for that. But in addition, we have to set up the next set of stories. We're going to talk probably more about episodes in a bit, but like starting after the final shape with the new episodes framework that we're rolling out, we're going to tell all different stories, and we'll learn more about the world of Destiny moving forward. So that's the unique challenge that we are taking very seriously. And to accommodate that, we've done more, I think, on the narrative side of the fence than we've even done in the past. More significant writers' rooms. We brought in more folks from even other parts of the studio to really kind of consult on this and make sure that all of our fans who probably know the Destiny lore better than I do are getting the pieces and answers to the questions that they want answered, unless we want to save some of those questions for the future stories that we're going to tell. There's more to it that you and the team have been doing as well, if you want to talk to that.
Yeah, probably to steal a little bit from Cosmo's and Pika's questions and give them the note card shuffle here in a minute. I think one of the things that we knew that was going to be challenging about this is, hey, we're telling the climax of the story. We know that, hey, when you get in the final shape, in those first moments, we want you to feel like, okay, Bungie delivered on this promise, delivered on this promise of becoming legend, delivered on really putting a bow on the Traveler and Pyramid story. The thing that was also important for us is like, okay, well, you're gonna confront the Witness, the biggest bad in Destiny. Okay, we think you have to confront the Witness in the raid, right? Like a version of Destiny's chronological history where the Witness was tough. Not quite as tough as Valka-Or, right? It's probably not a thing that our players are going to be super happy about. Not a thing I'm going to be happy about. What we really think is this day one experience is sort of like the penultimate episode, or the right before the season finale of your favorite TV show, and it really sets the stage for, hey, this is exactly what's going on in the world of Destiny. The stakes have never been higher. You go through a pretty epic journey. And then we say, okay, now we have to have this raid beat. And so it's sort of a reverse Taken King. If some of our people remember that moment in the Taken King, we delivered a thing where, hey, day one, for 80% of our players, they were like, I dealt with Oryx. And then for 20%, there was this other thing that they could go do, have another experience with Oryx.
Right.
And so for this one, we say, hey, we want everyone to go really set up what's happening in the final shape. And then for everyone, right, and we're not going to get into that, right, you should all wait for the raid, right? And we're going to help make sure everyone is brought along for the end of this journey. I think it takes a lot of our learnings from both really classic experiences like Crota and Oryx and sort of infuses them with what we've been doing with things like Savathûn and Callus, and taking all that lessons and saying, okay, we think we can do this the right way.
Yeah, and also just for something like this, when you complete the circle of this story that we've been telling, we want to make sure that we're paying homage to the things of the past, and we're talking through just so many of the things that have made this story what it is, but also telling it in a way where if you're coming into the final shape as your first experience, you can enjoy the mission, you can enjoy the campaign, you can understand what is happening.
Right.
But there's just a lot more if you have almost a decade's worth of Destiny play knowledge that you can look at.
So it kind of sounds like that means I have to play the raid to get the full story.
Trying to say,
no.
When you're experiencing things.
Now, while we're really excited about something like Fireteam Finder coming in and making it easier for anyone to get into the raid and experience those beats, yeah, I think the different part from our strategy startup in the past was we said, hey, there's something more for those who raid. There is a piece of the story, right, that is told in the raid. There's a piece that's essential. But it is definitely not going to be a moment where only raiders get to see the end of the Light and Darkness saga. Right.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Let's set this up.
Carefully skirt around 1,000 plot points here.
Let's end this up then.
So we showed a glimpse of the new enemy, the Subjugators. Are they going to be as terrifying as the Tormentors? What sets them apart from previous enemies?
Yeah, we were running through some questions yesterday just like this. Spoiler alert, we do practice a little bit. We do think about this. And I got in trouble because I said several obscenities last time I did this. So I'm not going to do that today on stream.
Who scolded you?
It could have been anyone. Cosmo, it could have been anyone that scolded me.
Okay.
And so I've been playing a lot of the Final Shape recently, probably surprising to no one. Subjugators are very different than Tormentors. Tormentors are sort of like this Kool-Aid man that busts through the wall and is saying, all right, look at me, right? Oh, okay. And Subjugators for us, they come out in these moments where you feel like you have a battlefield full of enemies, and then you hear the pyramid screech sound.
There's a sound.
And a Subjugator beams in, and it's like they're the ultimate sort of backfield tactician, right? And they're doing things like giving everyone around it little pyramid buddies. You've been shot in PvP with an Arc Soul. Imagine 10 taken Scions, and suddenly a Subjugator says, what if you all had little pyramid buddies? And you're like, oh, thanks, Subjugator, right? And so there's still these moments where you're like, you might want to just hold on to your super. You might want to hold on to some heavy ammo when you're playing through the campaign, just in case this busts through. I think one other thing that we've really learned from both Tormentors and Light Hive is we started building these sort of like captain-y units, right? These things that feel scary. And we're very careful in both Witch Queen and in Lightfall to make sure, hey, we don't want to overuse these. We don't want this to become a thing where you get a bounty and it's like, kill 20 Light Hive. You're like, oh, wow, they're just everywhere. And I think we're striking an even better balance now that we have a palette of these captains where it feels like, hey, I'm getting these like really meaty sandbox experiences. And we know how to sort of engage them in both the destination and the strike and the mission. So I'm really happy with a bunch of the learning the team has been taking as we continue to make these things.
Oh, totally. Yeah, my super basic take from having played it is that, like, and I didn't know how this was going to play out until I experienced it. Joe described it really well, but it's what I want from these units as a player is I want that moment of ha, and insert obscenity here so Cosmo doesn't yell at me. Right. But like, and the Subjugator absolutely delivers that in the same way that I felt from the Tormentor, and the same way I definitely felt the first time I saw the Light Hive. But it's just, to Joe's point, it's a very different way, right? Like it is, when it comes out, like I'm just as terrified and worried for myself and my fire team, but for different reasons,
right?
And with different tactics, and you have to approach them a very different way. So I think it feels very good to me, at least as a player.
Why am I already nervous?
Because whatever he just described, what you were picturing, is probably lighter than what's actually going to happen. Like
great.
Pyramid Buddies are Arc Souls, and yeah, to say.
I'm picturing some, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous. Okay, so Dan, this is for you. Your favorite, or everyone's, not yours, everyone's favorite hunter, Cayde 6, is seemingly back from the dead. Can we get a little bit of the story on that?
I mean, I'll happily take this one because I love talking about Cayde 6. I mean, here's the reality. We've been talking about this all coming full circle, and Joe was talking about the campaign as mission. You have a mission. There's a thing that has to happen. And like both as players and developers, it was just hard to picture finishing this fight without Cayde 6, right? And so we brought Cayde 6 back, and you're going to get less details than you want, but Cayde 6 is back for this fight, and it was super important to us as you go through to have Cayde 6, Zavala, Ikora, on comms talking through, and I think the most critical part of that is it's Cayde 6 with Nathan Fillion, and I don't know about everybody else, but like Joe and I were talking about this yesterday, and I think Joe said it really well, which is like when you're playing through the builds as you're going through, and the moment Nathan's line started actually coming through recorded, man, it just hits different, right? Like it just changes the dynamic for me as far as like what I feel about what's going through, the sort of complexities of the story. Right. But the part that's important, I think, to know is that like, this is Cayde. Like Cayde is back, Cayde is with you on this journey. He is your guide through the Pale Heart.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff that we're not going to talk about just yet because I want players to experience it. But
so hurry up.
Yeah, anything more you want to add there? It's exciting.
No, we'll probably say this a few times. We were like, what's the final shape? How are we going to do this? What's really important? We really wanted to make sure that this experience felt like the most distilled version of Destiny. Yeah. Like it's Destiny dialed up to 11. It is the like Destiny extract that if you were baking with, you're like, you only need a few drops. Like this is very potent. For us, we knew, hey, we've been planning this narrative roadmap out for a long time. We were like, okay, we know we need to make the best of this moment that we have with Cayde here. But I think it was really, again, as the VO starts to come in and you're in these missions, you're like, oh, that's like Cayde 6 talking to me. Yeah. And even, I wouldn't say everyone's favorite hunter. I mean, Eris Morn might have something to say about that. But yeah, it really starts to be like, okay, yeah, this is that distilled Destiny experience. Yeah.
I'm now picturing Destiny extract on the Bungie store. I don't know what it's for,
I think you got something here, actually. Yeah. You could bottle this.
Yeah. Not sure what it smells like.
Good point.
I don't even want to speculate.
Yeah, just stop.
So we've been talking about Final Shape. Let's talk about episodes. We've seen some feedback from the players that the season model has gotten a bit predictable at times, and we just saw in the showcase our content cadence is getting refreshed with this episode model. Can you talk us through what episodes are and how they're going to be different than seasons?
Sure, yeah. So, let's start with sort of what episodes are at their core, right? I think the easiest way to think about episodes is the natural evolution of the seasonal model. Because the seasonal model's done a lot of great things for Destiny. I think we've been running seasons for the better part of 3 years at this point, and it has allowed us to deliver, really quality experiences at a 3-month, very fast cadence, really move the story forward. I think we've told some great stories, introduced some new activities, new mechanics, really moved everything forward. The problem is, and if we're being honest with ourselves, and I'm going to be honest with ourselves, we really biased towards consistency to do that, right? Like we wanted to deliver it quality. We wanted to deliver it on time, all the time to the player. But that made the experience somewhat repetitive. Almost sort of by design in a certain way, which is now, I think, stretched out to the end of its utility. So episodes change up the framework and change up the delivery cadence. So there are 3 episodes a year. The first one will start alongside the final shape, and parts of it will start a little bit after. We can touch on that in a sec. But these 3 episodes are split into 3 acts each. Okay. And this means 2 things, really. One, that now what you're really looking at is 9 beats a year that are 6 weeks apart. And each of these beats gives us an opportunity to materially change the state of the game, to materially move the meta forward, introduce new story, introduce new weapons, new perks, new activities. And it doesn't have to be so formulaic. So it allows us to do what I think Destiny does really well, which is get a little weird at times. It allows us to throw, I have some really bad baseball metaphors I'm not going to use, but throw some curveballs into.
You just said you weren't going to use the baseball metaphor.
Okay. It's a good one. I can get really deep on this metaphor, and it's going to be interesting to about 4 people, so we're not going to do that. But it allows us to react more to what else is going on in the game. It allows us to change up the way we look at content delivery in a way that I think is just strictly better for all of us who are players, right? Like these 6 weeks, the 6 weeks in between major beats, I think is a really good way for players to, play Destiny in within their own lifestyle, how it fits into the white space of their life. I think it allows us to introduce different things, to try some different things, like I said, make it weird, and really start to experiment in a couple of places because of not everything has to be there all at once, right at the top. Right. So I think what episodes allows us to do is to not only continue telling stories in I think a new and pretty interesting way, but it also allows us to just really amp up the variety of the types of things that we can bring and when we can bring them into the game, which I think is just going to be a great experience.
Absolutely. What does that mean for the reward track?
Yeah, so one of the most interesting things that we're doing with episodes is probably how they start.
Okay.
So for us, again, we've talked a lot. It's pretty important that when the final shape is happening, everyone in the universe is saying, you know what's important? This whole thing that's going on in the Traveler right now. We've got to stay really focused. So we wanted the episodes to be a reaction to what happens when the final shape resolves, right? And so this means both. We don't want to tell a competing story at the same time. True. And we want, hey, once the first episode kicks off, for it to be in the context of what happens in the final shape. So the majority of the narrative content, the activity content, really when the episode begins, happens that reset after the raid. However, right away, we know there are some systems that just need to be online. So the reward track, you're gonna be able to get Red Death, log into the game, claim it from the past. I've been using it a lot in playtests. It's a solar weapon. Can I say that? So a little bit of yeah. Someone from the weapons team was I said it was a solar weapon. I think we're excited for that. And there's even a few stuff that you're going to be able to get weapon-wise from the episodes themselves. We have another sub-archetype that's going to be out there. We haven't talked about what sub-archetype that is, but we might see it in I think it's the kind of thing that people are going to be like, oh, I might bring this to the Raids World First Race. And so we're excited for both having some of this content available right away, but keeping that meat of that narrative, keeping what's important for the story and the world of Destiny to say, no. We're going to say everyone's on the same page when this kicks off. If you are in episode 1, you're hearing those lines of dialogue, you're getting those story beats, everyone is saying, okay, we all just saw what happened, right? We were all there for that? And yeah, we were.
And nuts and bolts wise, so episodes, we're still going to run season passes alongside episodes. And so before, where it was a season pass specific to a season, Now it's actually going to reset at every act. So you'll have 100 ranks for the first act of each episode, and then 50 additional will be added for each subsequent act. So 200 ranks throughout the course of an entire episode.
Makes sense.
And that length actually allows us to add some more stuff to it, right?
Yeah, I think we want to make sure that those additional ranks in Act 2 and Act 3 are really rewarding, and so we've both learned from our players, like, hey, we really value this. Can we get more of this? And so, like, great, we got that. And then we're also just going back to some old experiments. One of the things I'm really excited about is, in the 30th anniversary, we tried this experiment. We're like, we're going to give everybody a tiger helmet, right? And it's like silver, and it glows. And I'm like, yeah. And Hunters, Titans, Warlocks, they can all wear it. I'm like, maybe we should do that again. Maybe that should be what's on the very end of the pass, where you not only is there a unique armor set, but at the end you can be like, hey, and I was there. I did the whole thing right now. I got like this awesome helmet, and everyone wears the same thing. So we're excited to be taking a lot of learnings and pushing this and saying, okay, I think we've made a thing that players are gonna be able to sink their teeth into and feel rewarded from and be excited about.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having like a unique reward to an episode. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, you answered the question about 2 separate narratives, so we don't need that card anymore. Good. What about the artifact, like the perks? Like, are players going to have a different experience there, or are they going to have, like, are they going to get the same kind of like day one? Or?
Yeah. So day one, you're going to see something that looks exactly what you expect the artifact to look like, right? It's got the same amount of rows and columns. We've really been honing in on how to like make each artifact feel different. What's going to happen, though, is when Act 2 rolls around, some magic space appears at the top of the artifact, and a whole nother row appears.
Nice.
And so this is not meaning you're going to get less in Act 1. You're going to get the same amount you're used to. But Act 2 brings another row. Whole new ways to modify the game. And Act 3, another row on top of that. So we really want these acts to feel like, hey, it's not just that we're bringing new activity content in. It's not just that we're bringing new narrative content in. We are shaking up the meta. There's new rewards, there's new ways to play, there's new nightfalls in the rotation. Right? All of this is sort of what we're pitting out. It's like, yeah, we love this idea of, players finishing the final shape, an episode kicking off, and then just being a few weeks away from like, wait, Act 2 is like weeks away? And you're like, yeah, it's right around the corner. And then they're in Act 2 and like, oh, Act 3 is weeks away? Yeah. Like, how can we make sure that Destiny always feels like it's changing and evolving?
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be like really refreshing more often. But can you tell us what happens after the first 3 episodes? What's next with Destiny 2?
So the episodes are our new storytelling framework. You're going to get less information than you want. But they allow us to really move the story forward in different ways. And so one of the things that we want to experiment with is, can we make some of these episodes more standalone stories? Do they have to all interconnect? Can you play them in specific orders, things like that? And so after the episode 3, the intention is to continue rolling episodes forward and keep telling different stories and take whatever learnings that we get from the first 3 episodes and start to evolve the framework.
Yeah, and I don't think Dan's gonna kill me here, but we'll see. So maybe keep the coffee cup out of his hand.
I'm waiting for a spit take.
We got a lot of people. Most of them are at home. I was gonna point to the other side of the office. Most of us work from home now. That are working on Destiny 2 and are going to still be working on Destiny 2 after the final shape. And so,
I'm not gonna kill you for that.
It is not just episodes. Like, we know there's a bunch of content and there's different ways that we can get that into players' hands. And those folks still want to make that content, like the awesome stuff that we're sort of known for. And so, again, we'll be a little coy here today. But yeah, just to go back to what Robbie was saying, like, hey, we got some more tread on the tires here, and we're excited to show you where we're driving.
Yeah, and again, to what we were saying before, we think the episode model with the 3-act structure allows more like flexibility for us to make some of that cool content and make some different content. And I think the team is pretty excited about that too.
So episode 4. Maybe, who knows?
You got to find out what happens in the first 3 episodes.
All right, so.
All right, here's the entire story. No.
All right, well, I cracked the code. What are some changes that are coming that will make it easier to get my friends in the game?
There's a ton. I mean, there's a ton. So we'll go through some specifics, but like finding ways to make it easier for people to group up and play together and improve that experience was a pretty big focus for the last year and a half and moving forward. I'm taking with Joe on time because, time's hard, especially in quarantine. But
so we got Fireteam Finder coming in season 20.
Absolutely, yeah. But even before we get into the specifics, like Destiny's just better when you're playing with friends. It's better in groups. It's better with a fire team. And so being able to build that fire team and being able to play the best content is the sort of overarching goal for what we're trying to do. And yeah, so we got Fireteam Finder, we got Fireteam Power, we've got Timeline.
Reflections.
That's the word I'm looking for.
we probably got another scoop or two. I'm making sure that Kelly isn't opening that door to run over and tackle me before I give another thing here. Season 22. Oh, we can say Season of the Witch now. Season of the Witch.
Yep.
That's right.
Today is coming out with a thing that we sort of call like the main quest update. This is an update to your quest page.
Okay.
Where we're like taking over that front page and saying, hey, this is the big quest. And here's another quest that's important. And so we think super important for our new players that get inundated with a ton of content to go see. And they're like, what are my friends focused on? Can I make sure that's out? This is great for them. It's also great for people that are already playing Destiny and the like, okay, I finished day one of the final shape. And you're like, I got a lot of, which ones are the important ones, right? Which ones are first? And so there's a group of, a big group of developers here who are always looking and saying, okay, what's the next pain point for Destiny players?
Sure.
And so we're really excited about Fireteam Power. I think it's going to both be a way that for engaged Destiny players to still really care about getting their power up and their light up, but also allow, I've got friends that haven't played Destiny in a while, and I would love to just say to them, hey, just get in the game. Whatever guns you have, you're going to group up with me. We're going to do the dungeon.
Yep.
We're going to go play PvP. We're going to go do this thing, and you're going to be able to enjoy yourself. And there's still this incentive for them, like,